So, the life of being an artist might be pretty romanticized in your mind because of our culture, but honestly, it's hard and it's really lonely. The reason I wanted you to watch this video before you started writing your first screenplay is just because I want to prepare you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually for the journey so that you don't give up in the middle. And more importantly, so that you know that you're not alone in this process. My name is Albert Ellison. I'm an independent screenwriter and filmmaker, creator of a film called The Profession, which will hopefully release sometime later this year or early next year. With all that being said, I have 5 tips for you of things to think about before you start writing your first screenplay. First is just that you're gonna hate your screenplay. Same as any new project, relationship, any new thing that you're doing in your life. There's going to be an infatuation and a fervor at first because it's new to you. But it's inevitable that the project is going to get really, really hard the further you get into it. When I was shooting my feature film, The Profession, with my brother, we drove up to Iowa from Texas. We live here in Texas. And we were shooting during his winter break from high school. We ended up not having enough time to finish the production of the film during that one winter break, so we decided we would have to come up the following year to actually finish the shoot. But to be honest with you, we were pretty close to wrapping production on that first visit, and I think we could have. My productivity in the days started shrinking. I started honestly just dreading to get up and go out there. The wind was blowing at 20 or 30 miles an hour at sub-zero temperatures. When we broke from the project, I just felt relief. Honestly, I was so relieved to be free of it at the time. Some of that relief was because I wasn't happy with the project. Some of it was just honestly embarrassment. I was embarrassed about some of it. I was frustrated. I was tired. I wanted to be lazy. I struggle with laziness sometimes, and I just really wanted to be lazy. I wanted a break. And, I wanted to give up on the project at that time. Thankfully, we committed to coming back the next year, and we finished the shoot. We prepped and we pushed through it all. And after that, post-production was a sort of hell of its own because, 2 of my hard drives were corrupted. I thought I lost about half of my footage in that corruption. Some scenes didn't cut together how I wanted them to after shooting, even after shooting for 2 whole visits, and that was obviously frustrating. The screenplay didn't really make sense to me anymore because we had to cut certain scenes due to time or gear breaking or budgetary reasons or anything like that. Despite hiding between propped up mattresses and elaborately protecting the microphone, some of the audio was just borderline unusable still, and there were a million more problems. There were a lot of problems to go through, which I'm sure is the story for any production. I think I honestly hated my own film until about 2 weeks after I'd finished the entire first rough draft of it. The score, the editing, everything. It had all come together in a relative sense. It still needed polish, but it wasn't until I had that entire image of the film that I kind of stopped hating it. It all just came washing back to me. The reasons that the story was personal to me in the first place. The reason I needed the characters to help me get certain things off my own chest. The ending to the screenplay held a completely different meaning to me when I wrote it versus at that point 2 weeks after I had completed it, which honestly I really appreciated, that it meant enough to me that I could grow with the project and see it evolve too. You may come to dislike or even loathe your story, but if you stick with it through the hard times, then love will follow. And that washback response may not even be an emotional payback like it was for me. Some of it may be financially for you when the film, starts to earn back its budget and even put a profit in your pocket. Some of it may just be from the response to the film when people start reacting to it and you get reviews pouring in for your film. I know this is a long first point for the video, but really what I'm saying is that you can't give up on your project. Those hard times are really what's going to make you love your project, and that's a vital part of being an artist, is struggling with your pieces, and I think true love will pour out of it like that when you're willing to stick by its side and push through. So don't be weak and get to the other side. And number 2 is impostor syndrome, and I've seen countless artists talk about their impostor syndrome, which I'm sure is just because of our perceptions of success that are detached from the process or the work of being an artist. And here's what I'll say. It's just okay to stink at it. It's okay to be bad. And it's okay to feel like you're pretending because everyone goes through it. It reminds me of that line from Whiplash.
I'll tell you, man, and every Starbucks jazz album just proves my point, really. There are no two words in the English language more harmful than good job.
Someone telling you that you're doing great is kind of a lie, and it might be damaging to you at first because everyone just has to suck at some point. It's good for you to be encouraged, so don't go that far. But yeah, it's okay to suck. I think that the way to overcome this imposter syndrome is to realize that the professionals in this matter are really only pros, or they're really only called pros because of their experience. It's not because they're more qualified or they're smarter or they're just better than you. It's because they've had reps and reps and reps and built that muscle. And if you do put in that work and build that muscle, then, I mean, before you know it, people will be looking up to you in the same way. Okay, tip 3. Whether or not you know it's there, mental illness might reveal itself. You know, anxiety, OCD, bipolar disorders, or whatever it may be, they may reveal themselves. And none of these mean that you're the wrong person for the job. I want you to see this video before you start your screenplay because I implore you not to make it your identity if you do have those things pop up. There's a lot of weight in this process, but don't let it crush you. If you feel like there's a storm of dread coming, it'll turn you into a workaholic, which is equally as damaging. But through all of this, you can find solutions. Address it head on before it even becomes a problem. Have a gym routine, a morning study and journal time routine, a good vitamin routine, etc. Tip 4, other people aren't going to understand your schedule or your process. Your significant other, your friends, your colleagues, they might not understand why the project keeps getting pushed back, why it needs more time, why you're on your 5th draft of the same story. They might just be like, finish it. I will, of course, implore you to love those people and respect them and take heed of their advice, but I also think that it's important in these times that you actually listen to people who are in the same field as you, people like myself or other screenwriters. I think they're the ones who will actually be able to give you good advice in those times where it seems to be taking a long time. Especially if you need encouragement, come and find a community of screenwriters to help push you to the finish line. In my mind, it's just like, if you have a leak in your plumbing, you wouldn't call an electrician to try and problem solve that for you. You know, that's not their place of expertise, so maybe you should find other people to give you advice and encouragement. Okay, tip 5. This is kind of circling back to the feeling of discouragement, wanting to give up, feeling lonely or hopeless, feeling useless or unaccomplished. But I want to leave you with something very practical and specific to know how to help yourself in this time. I don't want it to be vague, like, oh yeah, find solutions. Here's something specific. Get an accomplishment journal, kind of like this one, or a jar that you can fill up. The idea is to keep track of everything that you've accomplished or finished this year. Every single thing that you finish, no matter how big or how small. The idea here is that if you consistently write down all the things that you actually finish, this journal will start to fill up, or that jar will start to fill up to the top. And it will be a visual reminder to yourself that you're doing a good job. It's easy to get late into a year and feel like you've wasted it, you know, like you didn't work as hard as you could have, or, you know, it was kind of a blunder and you're like, oh man, I'm one step closer to being 35 or whatever. I feel like that all the time. But ultimately, feeling sorry about yourself will only make you less and less productive. So keep a list of everything you do to help push and encourage yourself. Try to make that jar overflow. Try to fill up every last page on this journal so that you have to get a new one. Yeah, that's what I've got for you guys. So thank you for watching this episode. If you enjoyed the content or found it informative, leave it a like and subscribe. But I mean, if you thought it could have been better, just give me a thumbs down and leave me some constructive criticisms in the comments below.